Hey, welcome back to Happy Little Node Trees. Today we're still talking about Technicolor. I just wanted to clear up something about how to do Technicolor in DaVinci Resolve because I have a video on my channel from like over a year ago that has a janky little node tree. If you look around and search on YouTube for Technicolor videos and how to emulate it, you probably have come across somebody pitching this node tree right here. And that image that you see right there, that's not this. All right, we're going to get to that in a second. But what this is, if we just hop out of this, we can switch over to it. So this is our image coming in from red log camera out through OpenDRT right now. The layer mixer is just overriding it, so we can see just flip between the two very easily. And if you've seen this, this is where you use the channel mixer to kind of segment out red, green, and blue, red, green, and blue 50, add, subtract, subtract, add, subtract, add, subtract, subtract, add, blend all back together, add together. And people will say that's how you do emulate Technicolor in DaVinci Resolve. And cool, that looks cool. You look at the vector scope, it is hugely saturated. All of those reds are like way out there, all the way at the curved edge. We're still using OpenDRT as our DRT to get out, but like it does not, if you look at stills of Technicolor prints, most times, most prints that I've brought into Resolve tend to only go out to about here on our vector scope. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They start to round out at the 50% mark. Because after that, the dyes start to just bleed out to white. There's like this purity point that hits. And that is where, you know, if you're looking at this, we're way up to 75% red up there. And we feel just bright and vibrant and condensed, sure, because that's what it's doing. And that's what this node tree is doing. It's an additive saturation, which isn't how Technicolor worked or Technicolor functioned. Technicolor was a subtractive. It took a cyan, magenta, and yellow plus a black layer, and they pushed it all together and said, let's put light through it and see what we get out on the other side. And somehow, magically, a display renderable image shows up. And so I've been working for myself to say, I want a true Technicolor emulation that is photochemically accurate to what it's doing. And yeah, I've gone down this entire rabbit hole of building a pipeline that lets me define my red, green, and blue black and white matrices that hold the dyes. And then if we turn this off, you're going to see this is bloop, bloop, bloop. This is my Technicolor. You can see on the vector scope, we're rolling it out to 4 here. But this feels deep, it feels rich, it feels vibrant. Sure, maybe it looks a little underexposed, but that's because we have a lot of settings there. Our node tree here has nothing going on besides what we're doing in this DRT to get to image. We can turn that off. This is what we were feeding OpenDRT, and this is blam, blam, blam right there. And we turn that off and we go back to this and you go, well, this is very stylized. This is a look. It is a look. It's a DRT. It's meant to be a look. I built it for it to be a look, but we can fiddle around with so much. We can make it brighter. We can make it darker. We can affect how much that black layer affects the contrast of the image. We can change how our prints were exposed. This is kind of like a push-pull slider. It's not so much we, it's more me. Because I don't know how to make this thing be for other people. We can change our dyes, and pick different dyes, and that changes what the image finally looks like in terms of shaping it. Oh, we got custom colors here. It's so much fun. Custom colors is so much fun, especially if you know what you're doing. You click on cyan, and you're going to affect how things look, because you're only affecting the cyan dye, and you can go crazy. You can make the cyan dye be a red dye if you want, but you can be anything you want it to be. And I'm a big fan of this combo. This is my little speedball combo, electric blue, pure magenta, which pure magenta isn't just, or true magenta and saffron yellow. This is my jam. The looks that I've been making with this just feel right inside. And warm black. Cool black's nice, but a warm black is always nice, especially in the evening. It feels nice. And then we have all different ways to affect how our plates are prepared. You can see the plates in the diagnostics, so we bring them up. This is our cyan plate from what we developed, and that's, we developed a black and white matrix from a film stock that we kind of curtailed and designed from our input feed using these settings here, and then we put this dye onto it, and then we did some fun things with how it pinches and comes down to be black and stuff like that, and it is so much fun to build that. And then we have our projector light, which, if you know me, you know I like projector light grading, and you can see we're using pure white here. We can pick a different one like xenon or carbon arc or anything like that, and what it's doing is changing how much power is going through our compressed 5 layers of film stock. Power! As Jeremy Clarkson would say, and you go, whoa, that is bad. But if you had a really strong projector blasting through a thin thing of film, at some point it just feels like it's getting blown out of proportion. And it just gets blah. And now we just kind of, at 0, it's kind of neutral for this display. We can actually bring some life back into the shadows by lowering this contrast. It's kind of a post-processing thing that I added in mostly because I got stuck in a corner with a look. And this is our finished, we just made some tweaks to it. Be more than happy to send this. We got grain we can add in too if you want to get crazy and add some artifacts. So we just bring up grain strength really hard, kind of get this to a point that we like, and then we take that grain strength back off until it's just visible. And now it just dances. Maybe a little bit less. Yeah. And you can see here, compared to that other method, we're 1, 2, 3, 4 rings out on our vector scope in terms of how saturated our image is. And that was, for comparison, we had this set right here, where it's just crazy. Look at how it looks on the cue. It's just like all over the place. But if we just switch those guys off, like so, and you got the image that we were making, we got this really tight, condensed, very clean cube that's going on right there. And I might be like, I wanted to be a little bit more nuanced. I brought that projector light is down, and we're just going to come back, and it's this guy here, bring in some shadows, just reshape everything, bring this down, give a little bit more edge on the low end, right there, kind of just dial that look in, rotate those hues just, not too much, because you will break this thing does break stuff. But you just dial it in, you finesse those dyes. And I'm liking that. I'm liking how that looks. I might save that. I'm going to save that. Bam, bam, bam. And we want to compare with that original version we had. 2 different looks right there. Completely different. All just made by flicking some switches around in a true photochemical Technicolor emulation that does what those film stocks would do. Anyways, I am excited, mostly for me. I'm happy. I'm glad to be able to show it off and share it, but it apparently does not work on any computer but mine and all the testing I've done. So that is a sad thing. Maybe someday I'll find somebody that'll help me finish developing it and make it for the masses. But until then, I'm going to keep sharing some fun looks that I make with this with you guys, if you don't mind. And until then, have a happy little nursery day.